All right, let's do a little blurring of somebody's face tutorial. Good thing is Final Cut 10 is a lot easier to do this than Final Cut 7. So I'm going to go over here to my browser and I'm going to find the shot I want, and I'm going to pick this IMPD officer and we're going to use him as a clip. So I'm going to add that to the timeline and I'm going to blur his face. Now in the past we'd had to do multiple levels of video in order to accomplish this, but in Final Cut 10 we're going to go over here to the all video effects, and the easiest way to find this is to use your little search engine down here in the lower right corner. We're going to type in Censor, C-E-N-S-O-R, which is going to bring up this effect here. We just drag that and we're going to put it on top of the clip. You can see here that it started to pixelize the clip. So if I select that clip, and we'll zoom out here so we can see it a little bit better, and we go up here to our inspector under the video tab, there's now a line for censor. It's got an amount little bar there to adjust the amount of pixelization. It's got a method which will let you blur, darken, or even do a rectangle block if you're trying to block out words. For this purpose we're going to use the blur. There's a radius control which will affect the size of the area you're going to blur. Also has an aspect ratio, so we can do there. If you do it to its extreme, you see that it's a complete oval now. But for this purpose, we need just pretty much a circle. And if you see this little circle in the center, this is where you can drag and actually move it. So here we're at the beginning of the clip, and this is where his face is. And for the positioning, I can actually lock off a keyframe at that point in time with that little button there. And then if I scroll down, he starts to move to there. At this point in my timeline, if I grab this and I move it over, I can set a keyframe there as well. So now when I go back and watch it, it's going to follow between those two spots. He stays put till about there. We're going to lock off another keyframe. And we're going to see where he's going to move to. Right about there. Appears to be the farthest he goes to the right. So we can drag it, move it over, lock off another keyframe, go forward a little bit more. So he's good there, lock off a keyframe, go forward, and he stops right about there. So let's put it there, lock off another keyframe, and see if he stays put till the end of the shot, which he does. So now if we go back and watch it, that blur is going to follow his face. Now we can see through that blur a little bit, so we may want to actually use this amount boost down here, which is like extra blur, because we were at 100% on the amount. If we give it a little more boost here, now it should be really unrecognizable. So that's how you blur there. Now let's say this lady over here in this corner here, we need to blur her as well in the shot. We can drag another sensor effect and put it right on top. And then if we go over to our video tab, we'll notice there's a sensor up here. This first one was the officer, and this next one, if we scroll down, is going to be for her. So you can stack the multiple blurs on top of each other. So we're going to do a blur again, give it a little bit of amount of boost. We can reposition it. Make sure we're on the right one. We'll bring down the radius a little bit. And I think she pretty much stays put there in that corner, so we should be able to leave it. Yep, so we don't even need any keyframes. Play it out, and they're both blurred. Go ahead and Shift-Control-R for render. And then we'll see that right here. It's rendering out, and now it's 100%. We can check it and play it. And it works good. So that's a quick, easy way to blur people's identities, whether you want to use a blur, whether you want to pixelate, whether you want to darken, and it also works pretty good on documents as well.